Thank the Lord those other two idiots are not here, 'cause then I would have to deal with their nonsense.
Moose shit.
Where not we, just Moose and Alex. Bit bullshit. It's just me today. Thank the Lord. No Alex, no Moose, just me. And because of that, I thought of the brilliant idea of just making fun of them the whole time while they're not here. Because they're not here to interrupt me. I don't have to listen to their stupid voices while I'm talking. So now I can just make fun of them for 10 minutes straight. And I've compiled a list of 3 things about each of them that I just despise and hate so much. Let's start with Moose first. Moose is one of those guys that is just always recalling things incorrectly. So like imagine you're hanging out with your friends, right? And earlier in the night something happens and 4 people, there's 5 people hanging out total. 4 people remember it one way. And then there's Moose who swears it happened a completely different way. And then when you try to challenge him on it, he always claims that he's in the right. And then when we try to point out the fact to Moose that, hey, Moose, look, there's 4 of us that are saying this is how it went. And then there's just you saying that it's your way. Don't you think that, like, there's the chance of you being wrong? And for Moose, there's no chance of him being wrong. There's just absolutely none. He's just always right. And sometimes it's just the most ridiculous shit. And it's not even worth arguing over, but we still argue about it. And it ends up wasting probably like half hours of time in blocks at a time. Let's go to Alex for the next one. I feel like we've done this multiple times on the podcast, but one thing to point out about Alex is just how incredibly stupid he really is. Alex is one of the slowest people you will ever meet. It takes Alex maybe 10 tries to get a joke that everybody else in the car or everybody else that you're hanging out with has gotten already. And then you're sitting there, and then when you make fun of him for it, it takes him like another 5 minutes to understand why you're making fun of him. And then there's just countless examples that we've seen on the podcast already, but also in real life of Alex just doing incredibly stupid shit and just being confused by it. Like this most recent example from the last time we were hanging out. So we are all planning to hang out. So earlier in the week, and Alex from his job gets a discount at a store. I don't know if he wants me to say, so I won't say. But he gets a discount at this store. We're gonna go, right? But there's one by our hometown where all of us live, and then there's one by his new apartment. So I think we were planning to hang out on Friday or something. So on Wednesday or something like that, I text Alex. I was like, Alex, are you going to be at home on Friday, or are you going to be at your apartment still? Because like sometimes he'll just randomly come home for the weekend. So I didn't want to, go all the way over there if he was going to be here. And he said in the text, he says, I'm going to be in the apartment. So I was like, okay. So we all start planning out. And mind you, the distance between them is like 30 minutes. So like me, Moose, and uh, Mood, and one other person we're trying to work out going there. And then the day of comes. So we're planning to go there. Moose picks me up, picks up Mood, gets the last person we're going with. And then we're waiting there, and then we call Alex. He couldn't answer because he said he was with his mom. I thought that was a little weird because I was like, his mom's at his apartment? And then I was like, Moose, ask him if he is at his apartment or not. And then Moose asks him, and then this kid tells us that he's at home. And then we were like, what do you mean you're at home? And then he was like, I'm here right now, but we're going back to my apartment, right? And I was like, Alex, why would we do that? Or like basically implying like, Alex, what is the point of doing that? And then he's like, oh, I thought you guys wanted to come hang out at my apartment. when that had nothing to do with the plan. We were just trying to work out which store it'd be easier to go to based on where he was going to be. And then we still end up driving all the way to his apartment. And then he just gets in the car with us. So we drove like 30 minutes when we could have just stayed in our hometown and gone to the one that's 5 minutes away. So just unbelievably stupid by Alex. Another thing about Moose, he's the most picky man you'll ever meet, and he's unwilling to accommodate anything. So Moose obviously has to eat foods that are halal. That's not what I'm referring to. But you would think since you already have that restriction, you wouldn't restrict yourself further because then it would make it inconvenient for four other people that you're hanging out with that don't have those dietary restrictions to, like they'd be able to open up more options for everybody. So, I give an example from the last time we hung out too. We're at the place, we're buying some stuff, and then we're trying to work out where to get food. So earlier, Moose texts, he was like, "Oh, can we go to this pizza spot that's over there?" And then I was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care." And then nobody else responded. So I was like, "Okay, I don't know if we're going there. I don't know if we're not going there." And as we're waiting there, mind you, all four other people besides Moose are extremely fried, just nothing present in their heads at all except bullshit, including myself. So I'm gone. I can barely function as it is. And I just wanted Taco Bell. So did everybody else. We do have a very bad habit of just settling on Taco Bell as a place and we go there. They would say too often, I like Taco Bell, so I don't mind going to Taco Bell all the time. But we wanted Taco Bell. Moose still wanted to go to this pizza place. But within like a minute, the four rest of us were like, we want Taco Bell. And then Moose was like, can you guys accommodate me? And then he's like, oh, you guys aren't being very accommodating. And I was like, Moose, it's not like you can't eat Taco Bell. It's just like you're refusing to. And you're not really accommodating the whole rest of the group. And then we were also just like suggesting the idea to him of like, if you want that pizza place, we're not going to stop you from getting the pizza place, but can you just go to Taco Bell too? Because the Taco Bell was like 2 minutes from there. And then he was like, oh, I don't want to do a double stop. And then apparently, I don't even remember this pizza place from the last time we had it. I think it was when Alex like first got his apartment and he had like a little housewarming party. And I actually didn't even end up eating that day. Like I ate a little bit when we first got there, but when they got the pizza, I didn't have any of it, so I didn't know. But Mood was saying that it was terrible. So I mean, he is an extremely weird food critic, but he said it was terrible. So I was like, okay, I would rather just get Taco Bell, especially because I was fried. And then Moose was just getting very angry and not willing to accommodate anybody. And then I'm not even going to get into the fact that he doesn't like seafood. So that also just closes off like any like place that would serve seafood that like would be an option to him. So like restaurants that would normally have like stuff available for him that would be seafood. And like when he first bought it up, he made it seem like he just lumped all seafood together when half of it doesn't even taste the same. But I'll give credit to Moose. I have been changing his mind a little bit, I think. Like he likes crab meat now ever since we started to go get sushi and stuff. So he is opening his mind up a little bit. Not fully yet, but a little bit. And but yeah, Moose is incredibly picky. Just the most picky guy you'll ever meet. And it's often on like the most like so it just infuriates me. Second thing that I hate about Alex is how he plays video games like an absolute loser. And what I mean by that is when we play I got two games to use as an example, but first game is Fortnite, right? When you're on a team with him, you'd rather just have like an actual bot on your team than play with Alex because he's just that terrible. And it's not even that his like shooting is that bad, his building or anything like that. It's just his decision making in the game is like actually so terrible. And I'm not trying to be like a pussy right now and be like, "Oh my god, you're really throwing all our Fortnite games like I care that much." But like the whole point is to try to win and like obviously if you keep losing, it gets frustrating. And playing with Alex is just consistently frustrating because he'll just like be by himself and then like me and Mood will go and like fight a whole squad and we'll knock down like two of them and leave the other two like one shot. But the problem is like we just four people are shooting at us, so we can't do anything. And we just need Alex to like just land a couple shots. And he's just in La La Land by himself, just nowhere to be seen. Alex is just hiding or doing some other nonsense, and he's just gone. And then the second example, or and then also in Fortnite, we once just played like a playground thing and like basically just having build battles in Fortnite. And Alex is the one guy who, when you're supposed to be having a build battle, just ignores that and just constantly tries to climb up the thing instead of building. So like me and Mood are over here having like a great build fight and it ends. And then one of us wins and we're at like 40 health. And here comes Alex who doesn't build at all and then just jumps up and you know, ends up killing us because he is just waiting on the side and hiding. But the second game is Madden, and Alex just started playing Madden like crazy this year. And when I say like crazy, I mean like crazy. He played like 700 online games, which is like maybe 550 more games than I played. And all he does is run the same play on offense, and it's just the worst way to play the game. Like why would you play a game if all you're gonna do is run the same thing over and over and over again? Like where's the fun in that? And then the worst part about both of the examples that I named is Alex does these things and then still loses the game. So like what is the point? Like Alex will just play Madden against me and run four verticals only and then he'll still lose the game. So like what is the point of even playing? And then in Fortnite when we would do like the playground matches, he would still lose. Like he was still consistently last. Like I was winning and Mood was winning and Alex was not winning. So like he just sucked anyway. Uh the next thing going back to Moose is specifically when we're all drinking. Uh all of us will be drunk, right? Me, Alex, Mood, whoever else we're with. We're all just like extremely gone. But there's always one guy that's acting more stupid than the rest of us, and it's always Moose. And I don't know, I don't think I really hate this, but it's just something I've noticed that sometimes bothers me is that Moose is just always like, and I don't even think it's acting, like, cause if it was acting, I think he'd be making like a conscious decision in his head to do it. But I think something in his brain just triggers him to start acting even more drunk or like an idiot than we are, and we're actually under the influence of something that's making us act like that. So like Moose is just I guess, like, riding the energy of the room, but, like, sometimes it just gets so funny, but then other times it's just so weird, like, why is Moose acting like such an idiot when he hasn't even drank anything? And sometimes you're just looking at him like, "God, Moose, what is wrong with you?" But yeah, that's just a quick one. Like, I sometimes it's entertaining, but, like, a lot of the times lately when we've been hanging out, I just don't drink anything and I notice it, and I just think it's kinda funny. But, like, when I was actually drinking, I would peep it and I would be like, wow, Moose is a real idiot. And then the last thing about Alex is how easily persuaded he is. And basically, I don't want to say it because I know it'll hurt his soft feelings, but he's the most gullible fucker you'll ever meet in your life. Like, again, this last time, it's like you could make a movie about the last time we hung out. Alex gets in the car and Mood just gives him a full, like, a edible gummy, and he just eats the whole thing without questioning it at all. Just eats the whole thing, and then ends up greening out. He ends up throwing up back at his house. He was like extremely gone the whole time. Like it was super bad. I felt bad for like we go out with him. He gets super high, and then we drop him back off to his apartment, and he's just fried, and then his girlfriend has to deal with his bullshit. And then I was like, damn, I feel bad for his girlfriend. And then I was like, damn, I felt bad for us because we had to deal with it. And it was all because of him taking the full gummy. And then I was thinking in my head, I was like, damn, why didn't he just say, like, oh, I don't want a full one? And I was like, I guess it's because he didn't know his limits, but like he also never like took the chance to ask, like, oh, like how strong is this or anything. Like Alex is the type of guy to just grab it and then just eat it right away. And then that doesn't even count like the countless amount of times that he'll just like, if he's already like drunk or tipsy or something, and you just like grill him a little bit, he'll just take another shot and take another shot. And it always ends up with him being the most messed up because he's the smallest one. So obviously he's gonna get the most wasted. So I just think it's funny every time that Alex is always like sauced, and it's always because he just makes decisions based on everybody else telling him to do stuff. So yeah, the last two for each person, I don't really hate it. I think it's funny, but sometimes it just be pissing me off. But yeah, that's just three things I dislike about Alex and Moose because they're not here and because they cannot stop me from saying it right now. So thank you for listening. I don't know what Moose says at the end normally. Go click on whatever you got to click on. Like the video. I don't know. Rate us on Spotify. Give it 5 stars. Answer the poll question. Listen to us on iHeartRadio. And yeah, this has been KOOB.